Welcome back to my channel. What I decided to do today is to share with you how I marinate my meat. Usually when I go grocery shopping and I purchase my meat, I like to meal prep. So I do that by just taking my meat out of the package and then seasoning the meat and then putting it back in the freezer. Today, this is what I'm going to do. So for my chicken, I'm going to marinate it, put it in the freezer so we can cook whatever day we decide to cook chicken on. And this is lamb. I'm going to do the same thing. So here are the fresh herbs that I'm going to use. So here are the fresh herbs and spices that I'm going to use. And here is the seasonings that I'm going to use. So first, let's go ahead and do the lamb. So what I'm going to do is put a cap full of my pepper apple cider vinegar. So I'm just putting a cap full of apple cider pepper perfect vinegar. And then I'm going to put some onions, green peppers, yellow peppers, orange peppers, shallots, and I'm also going to put some of this green onion. I call this green onion, some people call it scallions, but I'm going to put that in there as well. We're also going to put some thyme, parsley, black pepper, salt, cumin, paprika, allspice, and a little bit of adobe seasoning. We're going to put, oh, and also some cayenne pepper. So all that is going to go into the lamb, and I'm going to mix it up. I promise you, fresh ingredients is what will give your meat a wonderful, wonderful flavor. If I had fresh parsley, I would add fresh parsley, but I don't. So that's why I will be adding dry parsley, excuse me. Now I'm going to add my shallots. And I'm going to also add my scallions. Again, some call them green onions. Some people call them scallions. So here we have the adobe seasoning. I don't put a lot, just a little. Here we have the thyme. Just a little bit of thyme, not a lot. Again, if you have fresh thyme, that would be preferable. Here is some parsley. Again, if you have fresh parsley, that is also preferable. We're going to add some parsley in there. We're going to add some black pepper. I'm going to add some ground allspice. Cayenne pepper. Not a lot of cayenne because my husband doesn't like spicy food that much, but I put just a little bit just to give it a little kick. Some cumin. Lamb and cumin go well together, okay? And here's some paprika. The only reason why I put paprika, because to me it doesn't have a flavor. I put paprika for the color. It gets my lamb the right color, I would say. And some salt. That was a little bit too much, but that's okay. And then what we're going to do is just mix all this up. Now you can mix it with your hands, you can put gloves, or you can use tongs. Today I'm just going to go ahead and use tongs since I'm videotaping, but normally I just use my bare hands and I mix all this goodness together. And when it's all mixed up, it looks like this. Yummy, yummy, yummy. So you can cook this in several ways. You can make this a crock pot meal. You can just dump this in the crock pot and cook it for about 6 to 8 hours on high. You can also put this within a pan and put some oil in it, mix it up, and then you can bake it in the oven. I would say 375 for about 45 minutes. But what I'm going to do with this particularly is I'm going to, I think it's called pan sear. So I'm going to put some olive oil on this, mix it up again, put some oil within the pan, take each piece and sear it on each side until it gets a nice brown color. And then what I'm going to do is use the oil and all this goodness, all these veggies to create a sauce or gravy, better yet. And then I'm going to put the browned pieces of lamb into a pot, put this sauce or the gravy that I created over it, and then cover it, and then put it in the oven on 375 for about 40 to 45 minutes, maybe about 40 minutes, since when you sear it, it's gonna cook a little bit, because normally I sear it for about 3 to 5 minutes on each side. So that's one recipe of how I season my lamb. Hopefully you found this helpful. So let's go ahead and let's season our chicken. So for our chicken, I'm not going to put a whole lot of seasoning. I'm going to stick with, my salt, pepper, parsley, onions, and I love this seasoning right here, chicken flavor bouillon. I'm going to put that within the chicken. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because when I put this in the oven and cook it, bake it, I'm going to add cream of mushroom, a little bit of butter, and a little bit of heavy cream. I'm going to add that, mix it in, and then cook it in the oven on 375 to 400 for about 30 to 45 minutes. And I call this cream of mushroom chicken, or you can call this, I don't know, cream chicken. But again, I keep the seasonings minimal because, again, this cream of mushroom soup has its own flavor, and I don't want to overpower the chicken with too many seasonings. So here we go. I'm going to add my onions. I'm going to add some parsley. Again, this is dried parsley. If you have fresh parsley, that is always preferable, but I did not have that, or preference, I did not have that. We're going to add some black pepper. We're going to add some salt. I'm not going to put a lot of salt at all because my chicken bouillon has its own flavor, and it has a little salt in it. So I'm going to add some of that to it, and then that's it. I'm going to mix this up, and I'll be right back. So this is what it looks like all mixed up. Again, you can use a fork, you can use your bare hands, you can use your hands with some gloves, you can use some tongs to mix up your chicken. So as you can see, it looks nicely seasoned. So again, you can put this meal, I would not recommend the crock pot. I don't like my chicken in the crock pot unless I want it to shred. So this one, just put in a baggie, Ziploc bag, take the air out, put it in the freezer, and whenever you're gonna have chicken, pull it out. And you can bake this in the oven. You can cook it on top of the stove. You can grill it. But what I'm going to do is once we decide to eat chicken, I'm going to take this out, defrost it, put it in a pan, and then over it, I'm going to put some melted butter over it. Not a lot. I'm going to open this can of mushroom, cream of mushroom soup. I'm going to put that over it. And I'm also going to drizzle some heavy whipping cream. And I'm going to mix it, cover it, and put it in the oven. So that's how I'm going to do my chicken. So I hope this was helpful. And hopefully you'll use one of these recipes to make your family dinner. Okay. until I see you again in another video. And if you like things, if you like this type of stuff, not subscribe. Yes, subscribe. Yes, subscribe. But leave a comment in the below, and I will make videos like this, and meal prep or cooking videos. So, okay, thanks. Have a wonderful day. Here is a tip. Anytime you cut up your veggies, or you cut up seasonings, or you cut up spices, instead of throwing away all the remaining portions, just put them in a Ziploc bag and freeze it. And then once your bag becomes full, this is a great way to make broth, vegetable broth. So once this bag is full, what I'll do is I will put all the contents in a pot, add some water, add some chicken bouillon flavor, a little bit of salt, butter, whatever seasonings I like, and then I will literally let it boil on low for a few hours. You can also just do the same thing in your crock pot and let it boil on low for 5 to 6 hours. And once it's done, of course, you want to drain all of the goodness. So all of this, all the ingredients, you want to, I think the word drain is wrong, but you want to use like a colander or something, or strainer. You want to strain it. That's the word, strain. So you want to strain all of these veggies out and just keep your liquid. And then you can freeze that, and then that can be your vegetable broth that you can use to cook. You can use it to cook meat. You can use it to cook rice. You can use it to make soup. Basically, it'll be a replacement for water when cooking. So hopefully you found this helpful. And what I'm doing, I'm just putting in the little pieces of scallions and shallots and onion pieces. And what I also did, the pieces of my bell peppers that I did not use, I also put them in here. Okay, hopefully this helps.